I'm Captain Balin Bull Beck. I go by Bull. We have call signs here in the squadron, and my call sign is Bull. Probably because I'm a big bullet bastard. But I'm going to go ahead and give you a tour of the squadron. If you have any questions, go ahead and speak up as it is. If you look behind you, this is the ops desk. Everyone comes before they fly and talks to the ops soup, which is a Major Trip Shannon right there. And they will get a briefing on the weather, get all the information they need to go fly. Usually what we do is we come in the morning, the day before we're mission plan to get all the information we need to go fly. And then the next morning we'll come in and we'll brief for about the mission today, about 2 to 2.5 hours, depending on what's going on, is the briefing and then getting ready for the flight. Then they'll meet at the desk, get a quick briefing from the ops soup on what's going on, and then they go out to the plane. After they brief, which is around the corner, then we come down here and get our stuff on. So if you follow me, I'll show you what our equipment looks like. You can see what the equipment, this is my equipment here that we have. And if you want to go ahead and try it on real quick, you can see how heavy it is, and then we've got to carry out to the plane. Alright, you got it. Come here. So go ahead and put that on. It's going to go right your way. It's going to be big on you, but you're getting a feel of what's going on. Alright, right here.
Probably maybe it's Prescott.
Snap right here. And then zip up. There you go. Now you do the same thing with the legs. They're going to wrap around. Now in this G suit are air bladders. So we connect to the aircraft, and as we pull G's, it automatically inflates these air bladders to put pressure on our legs. It's kind of more of a reminder that we got a G strain so we don't pass out. But it also gives us a little bit of protection on its own so that we can G-strain. The whole idea is we want to keep the blood in our head while we're pulling this maneuvers. And we can do this, you know, you get wear out. You got to be in good shape to be able to continue to do this all day long because it will wear you out just one time. You have any questions yet? Usually what we do is we get together in the morning to brief. This is one of our briefing rooms. We have smaller ones where it's smaller missions, but we want to get together and talk as a group. Come in here. Just a quick note, all these pictures on the side of the wall you see are classes that have graduated from this squadron. So we're big on heritage. We like to keep track of everyone, you know, everything that we've done in the past we like to remember. So this is, we can always put up on the wall all the classes we graduated. So all these guys are F-16 pilots and are either still flying the jet or have moved on to other things. But like you can see the whiteboard at the back, we'll go ahead and draw most of our stuff and put all the information up there so we can talk to it. But we like to draw. And we'll put up pictures because everyone learns a little bit better with pictures instead of just words and talking. So we're coordinating with pictures and different other things with those boards to be able to get our point across and what our plan is. That's the biggest thing. We always like to tell what the plan is so everyone's on the same page. I was an angel. I said I went to the academy. I also went to University of South Florida beforehand. But I always knew I wanted to fly, so I worked to get in the academy. At first I didn't get in there. I had some medical issues when I got that cleaned up. So I went to 2 years of civilian college first, and then I went on to the academy. I started all over because I wanted to be able to get to an end. And the academy is different from seeing both sides of it. The academy is more structured. You have something to do all day long. You know, they tell you when to wake up, tell you when to go to school or class, when to go to lunch, when to go to dinner, and when to go to sleep. It's very structured. But as you get up in years, as a freshman, you don't have any choice. You have a schedule all day long. And as you get to a senior, which we call first year cadet, or first class cadet, then you have more freedom. You know, they've structured you, they built you up, they've showed you how to be in the military way, and at the end, then you have more freedom to go out. And by the end, you graduate, and then you immediately get into your job. Usually around our second year, or I'm sorry, the third year or second class year, we find out what we're going to go into. So beginning of our first year, towards the end of the summer, like I knew I was going into pilot training. So the whole rest of the year, and I worked towards that. I started gearing up to be a pilot and finished up with that. There's other activities we can do at the academy. For me, I was a glider instructor. So as a cadet, I taught kids how to fly in gliders out in the academy. They still have that program. The other thing, there's people that do a parachute team. So the people who want to jump out of aircraft and do parachute, they have a competition team that goes out and does competitions with parachutes. And they have a bunch of clubs. Even if it's not, they have football, soccer, and all that other stuff. They have other clubs. If you think about something you want to do, you can form a club, and they'll let you run with it. So the academy is pretty good for stuff like that. Yeah.
What kind of particulars would get you in the Air Force Academy?
Now you have to get a nomination from a congressman or senator. unless you have a family member that's already gone, then there's a different route. So you have to put a package together. Big stuff for extracurricular activities, so you have to be good in school on top of being athletic, and on top of, for me, I was a explorer or a Boy Scout. So I had that, I was a club president. So anything you can do that shows extracurricular and everything is going to make you stand out. The way the academy looks at it is everything you do, they assign a point to. And then they say they want to take 1,000 people per class, then they take the first 1,000 people and they cut that off on that point system. And then after below that, they give scholarships to like prep schools, or offer you different ways to get around that. But if you're even inclined about going that route, you need to start looking at, like for me with Boy Scouts, some other groups out there, explorers, stuff like that. Looking to be involved in that National Honor Society, president, stuff is what I was. So I looked at any kind of clubs I could do in school, which made me more competitive. So it looks like you can multitask, go to school, get good grades, be involved in clubs and outside school also. That's going to make you look good for the academy. So once you get a nomination, then you can apply to the academy. So you have to have a nomination from a senator or congressman, and then you apply to the academy, and that'll work you towards getting in. And it's a straight 4 years. You're taking a lot of classes. I think you're going to take at least, I probably don't know about credit hours, but at least 3 or 4 classes per semester at the academy, and they're very hard.
Come out an officer, don't you?
Take it.
Come out an officer, is that right?
Yep, you will. Everyone comes out of the academy as an officer. You graduate as a second lieutenant. Not everyone goes to pilot training. A lot of people do. But if you even don't want to go to pilot training, you can go on to other things. You can become there's security forces officers, there's civil engineering officers, there's maintenance officers that you'll see next in the AVU. There's a lot of different career fields you have in the airport. Pilot is the only one out. Although I think it's the best. Kind of nice. I think it's anything else?
Guys, I need you to look around the room, okay? Look at all these people on the wall. A lot of guys. By the way, females. There's a female, his boss is a female. There's a female fighter pilot who's in charge of this whole squadron. Look at the people on the wall here. You don't realize that what you're seeing is what makes America great. The people you see on the walls are the best fighter pilots in the world. In the world. We have the best training, we have the best jets, and not only, he said it, but when you go to pilot training, you're with 30 or 40, 50 people, one person becomes a fighter pilot. Maybe 2 or 3 out of 50 pilots. And so what you're looking at is what makes America great. These are the people who, in your world, on time, turn in homework, accept responsibility, do what you say you're going to do, are respectful to your elders, and they make it happen. These people are not the kids that make C's, D's, and F's. These people here are the ones who are leading the military and making America great. And oh, by the way, quite a handful of them, I'm sure, are dead right now in pursuing their job. Teachers, tax attorneys, doctors, lawyers don't die for their country. These people do. Okay? I'm not in this room. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 or 3 of you who could be on these walls one day if you choose to. But it is a choice. Life's a choice. You think about going to college, is that tough? Yeah, it's tough. This guy went to college for 2 years and said, hey, I'm going to start over. He went back to the academy and for 4 more years. I don't know many guys that do that. I'm the Air Force Academy liaison officer. I sent kids to the academy. So I'm telling you, I've only met one other person, actually last year from Everett, that had given up 2 years of college to start over to be one of the best. That's a pretty neat thing. This is what you're not going to see at Prescott High School very often. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Any other questions? One of them asked, where's the classified stuff? In this world, there's a lot of classified stuff. You don't know it because you don't see it, but it's around you, and the pilots, go into special areas, very classified. When you go out in the jets, there's very special classified stuff, and it basically involves the plane and how you deploy it. But you guys don't see it because there's no need to. again, his boss, Lieutenant Colonel,
Okay.
a female, she's in charge of the whole thing. It's her responsibility. Okay? When we tell you guys to be responsible for your work, to show up on time, to cut your hair, to wear your shirts, guess what? You've got to do that. It's the first step in being an adult, which you guys are adults are going to be. And so it takes responsibility. All right. Any other question, guys, for him?
No, sir.
All right.
One thing I just want to show them here.
Yeah, heritage room. Good point.
On the way out, we're just swing by, and I'm going to show you one other thing, and then we'll move on to the AFB. All right? Sure, any last questions?
No, sir.